And we're live. This is Federal Prison Talk. Guys, I'm back. This time I got the guest. Salty will going to try tomorrow. He was a guy from Jordan who I did time with. He's technology-wise, I don't know. His girlfriend was going to help him, but she fell asleep. Anyways, I got Tavares here. Just like the song, when he told me his name, I said there was a song sung by the band Tavares in Saturday Night Fever. He said he was named after that.
Yes, sir.
So I'll always that's a good way to remember his name. But hey, he's laughing right now, guys, but he's got to go to prison, man. 18 months he got sentenced to. And Tavares, you want to tell everybody what happened, what you're going through? You've been on pretrial for a few years?
Oh, man, I've been on pretrial for about between 18 to 20 months right now. And it's been a headache, man. I mean, it's like every day you don't know what to expect. Before my sentencing, it was like you didn't know what to expect. You didn't know what was what, it was just anxiety and freaking worry. I mean, it was hell, man. It was hell.
I used to be surprised how many people on pretrial find my channel, right? But a lot of people do, or they went through the system. But tell me this: when you're on pretrial, your friends, your family. 6 months goes by, 8 months, 9 months. You're checking in a court every once in a while. You know you're going to prison, right? You don't know how much time you're going to get. You know, there's that week when the lawyer says, "I think I could get you probation." Yeah, you get through that, but everybody else thinks, "Man, you got a job. They're letting you out. Yeah, you got ankle bracelet. You're on probation, dude. You don't go to prison. You're serving it right now, dude. You're on probation." They don't know, do they?
Listen, they have no idea, bro. I mean, every day. It was something like, you know, like you said, 6 months go by, 8 months go by, 9 months go by. And it was like, man, they're not worried about you, or man, you're just going to get hurt.
I mean, I could have ran. I could have saved up money to buy, fake IDs and left the country. But no, we got marshals, man. It's all good.
Yeah, and they, they like, they're not worried about you, man. You're doing good, man. You got 2 jobs. You're working and I said, man, listen, one thing about the feds, bro. You're going to prison, no matter what. Like 9 times out of 10, like if a case like what I had, bruh, it's very, very low percentage that you're going to get probation.
Yeah, those are guys that maybe are drunk driving through a government park or something. It's stuff like that. Like they just indicted Trump, man, and I hate to say it, I think they're going to give him some time, man. I don't know, but he'd be the first one not to get the time.
Right. But
I don't know how they're going to treat that, man. But and they drag it on. They'll drag it on for 10 years on him, probably.
Yeah, man. But I mean, that pretrial is like it's hell, bro. Because you don't know what to expect. You don't know, like you just don't know. It's that feeling of not knowing. For me at least, and I'm sure for a lot of other people. It was that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen once the sentencing date came.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of people on pretrial. I've had a lot of guests on here, and it's all that. I mean, once in a while, a guy gets all done in 6 months, and that's still a long time,
right?
But you don't get any deals in the feds like the states. Don't take that first deal. Maybe don't take the second. You're lucky if you get a deal. You better take it because you go to trial. You know what's going to happen.
Right.
You're getting 20 years at least.
Maybe even 30.
Yeah, and if you win that, you're going to piss them off, and now you're on their hot sheet. They got hella other charges that they didn't use. They'll be back in another year. They're going to keep trying. Because I met guys in there. They won a case, right? And I go, you won the case. Why are you here? Oh, well, because they came back at me. They came with different charges that held back. All those ones they dropped, well, they used them again now.
So you can get so the ones they dropped, so they can use it for money laundering and tax evade. Anything, bro. Anything.
Did you wait till that guy across the street the other day? He's a known drug dealer, man. So that's conspiracy. So I got to. That's 2 people keeping a secret, and you know what I mean. So you must be in cahoots with that guy. So I got a reasonable doubt. I have a suspicion, and it's a conspiracy that you 2 were waving to each other. You're going to prison. That's all they need, man.
That's it.
Hearsay works.
And the feds is
everything you were taught in school the opposite. I mean, I must have missed that day of civics or something. They edited my book. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and I mean the feds is different, man. Like you said, all they need is hearsay, and that conspiracy charge is one of the hardest charges to beat. Like you're not gonna beat that. Like
Yeah.
so, I mean, and then my attorney. Well, first of all, I had a court appointed attorney. I wasn't paying for no high priced lawyer, no shit like that because I did call around for an attorney and they wanted like 50 grand just to
Yeah, I mean, I found
do
one
my
for $5,000 that would just before I got indicted. She said, "If you give me $5,000, I could talk to you." Really?
right.
That was it. That was for the conversation.
Yeah, so they wanted 50 grand just to take on my case, and if I decided to take it to trial, they wanted even more money. So I said, I'm gonna roll the dice and and just get a court appointed attorney. So that's what I did, and as time go on,
I think you did the right thing because those guys work just as hard in the feds, not the states.
my attorney was great, man. I mean, um, he bust his ass. Like, I mean, I was calling him more than he was calling me. Like, I was just worried. So he's like, "Don't worry, this in the feds. It takes time. So they got to go through their discovery. They got to go through this and that and all this other stuff that I had no
Oh
knowledge
yeah,
about."
it's a thought out chess game that they play on you. It really is.
Right. Yep.
It's all designed. It's all designed to either make you fail or make you improve yourself. And most people fail by the time sentencing day comes. You'll see them when you get in there.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a few people that I do know that was on pretrial that they fucking couldn't pass the drug test, or they caught another charge on pretrial release. So
Yeah, and then if they throw you back into a jail or the government detainer, guess what? You don't get any credit time served for that part because that's a violation of your bond act. So you don't get no credit time served.
yeah,
And the judge sometimes if you do the whole time locked up or on pretrial, like I was 4 years, the judge will consider that if you did good. But if you did bad, and you're back in and all that, you got nothing coming, man.
that sucks, man. Yeah, that sucks. But
I
yeah,
mean, I violated twice, and they sent me to programs, residential treatment programs. The second one, I turned myself in, and I had to go to court. And my pretrial officer said, "No, we're taking him today." And the judge says, "He's already in there. No, we're going to let him stay. It's better." She was pissed, man.
yes,
She even said, "Well, I don't want him on my case no more."
wow,
I said, "Yeah, I like that."
yeah, but yeah, man. My attorney and the prosecutor, they wanted 48 months. I was looking at 48 months.
Yeah.
That's what the prosecutor wanted. That was the first offer. I declined that first offer. Spoke to my attorney.
Yeah,
And
that's normally not a good thing. So, did you get a second offer?
so the second offer, I did not get a second offer. The next time I went back to court, my attorney said they're not going to budge. They're not going to go any lower. The government wants 48 months. That's what the prosecutor is asking for. So I said, well, I started doing some numbers in my head. I said, the RDAP, and I had to do some research on the RDAP program too, by the way.
Yeah, I got a lot of that too. If anybody wants, I can email you stuff. But
yeah, so I was doing some research on the RDAP program. So it's 12 months and another 6 months off of that. And
yeah,
so
you need at least a 2-year sentence to get in, though.
absolutely, yep. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna accept the plea because I'm not going to trial, because going to trial that was a no-brainer. No way possible I was going to trial. I was caught red-handed, and I said, well, just forget it. I'm gonna take the.
How long did it take you to get to that state of mind frame that you're at right now? Because it's kind of like when somebody dies and you go through denial and anger, and you go through those stages. So you're past the denial, you're past the anger, right? So you're probably at one of the last stages of accepting what you did. So how long did it take you to get to this where you're at right now?
It took me about a year, man.
Okay.
It took me about at least a year, maybe yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little over a year maybe, but
It took me those 2 drug programs in a couple of years, and then I started thinking, all right, well, I knew it was wrong, but and then I finally got, yeah, I did it. I stole the money. It doesn't matter who you steal from. There's no reason. I stole it. I did it. Now today I could say, I don't care if you steal from a pedophile, a child molester. That's still stealing, dude.
right.
Okay, don't. I mean, I would justify it, but it's stealing, dude.
Yep.
I don't care if you think it's right. It's stealing, man. So
yeah, but that mind frame took me about a year, maybe a little more, and it was so much worrying, man. Not for myself, but more so my wife and kids. Though I was worried about what's gonna happen with them, and because my wife, she's in school and working and stuff like that. So it's like, well, can she pay these bills by herself, and how my kids gonna act while I'm gone? It was a lot.
see, yeah, I work for a nonprofit. We deal with that every day. The husband or the wife, they're in prison, or the son, or all these kids, and the rest of the family's left high and dry. And you know what? In their mind, man, you did this to them. I don't know if you've thought that part through. It's not a bad decision or bad choice. No, you planned this and did this to them, man. And
absolutely,
you get to that point, because that's how they're looking at it. You're leaving them, and you did this. That's your lifestyle that you chose, and you put us second, and now you're leaving us high and dry. That's how they look at it.
I mean, I take all the blame. I'm responsible for everything.
That's
And
good to hear, man.
yeah, man, I'm responsible for everything I did to my family, bro. Like they didn't have no idea. They was oblivious to all this, and now it's like I gotta say a goodbye for a few months, So
You're actually very fortunate, because you'll get out in about a year. I know we did the math, but now you can heal. Now you can clean yourself from the inside out.
mhm,
You can look at. Here's when you go take every class, every program. You can hang out in the law library. Work on your body, your mind, your spirit, and your soul, dude. And
right.
and get that all back. And it's chapter 2 of your life, 2.0, man.
Yeah.
You get to do a reboot. You know what I mean? You could come out a way better man than you went in, or you
Yep.
could come out worse or the same.
Yep.
It's up to you, man. But I think you're on the right track, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Like we talked about the other day, man. It's like a little reset button, man. You hit the reset button, and you can go this way or you can go that way. It's your choice. But
Got a couple people here. No BOP. He got 14 months. He's going to Oxford, and you don't know where you're going yet. And then this one here, Blues Clues. He says, "What's the charges?"
So my charges were conspiracy to distribute cocaine. I think it was like 5 kilograms or more.
That's because you waved across the street to your neighbor. That's conspiracy.
Yep. So it was a conspiracy charge to distribute 5 kilograms or more, but that wasn't even I had nothing to do with none of that other stuff. But then they broke it down to it was this was it distribution charge with the intent to sell 500 grams or more. That's what it was.
That intent, like how do they know what I was thinking?
Right. So, but yeah, that's what it was, man. And like I said, the prosecutor wanted 48 months. And by the grace of God, man, I was able to and when I went for my sentences hearing, oh man, the judge really laid it on me. I mean, he gave it to me, bro. But before all of this though, I'm like we talked about. I was working with RDAP Dan. Shout out to RDAP Dan.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's the guy who helped me before I went in, and he's taken me under his wing, and he's been helping me learn that business too. But he was there for me, man. Him and Walt Pavlo. Walt Pavlo's out of the business now, but he was another good guy back then.
Yep. Shout out to RDAP Dan. He really helped me out with the letters, with the
And he probably told you don't do too many letters. What, 3 to 5? I think he does. He don't even like to do more than 3.
Yep.
Otherwise, you give the judge work.
Yep. He said do three good letters, a nice personal narrative. That's what I did, man. And oh man, it worked out tremendously. It worked out.
And I know you did some community service on your
Yep.
own. You kind of like, I mean, I don't care if it's going to a bingo parlor on Friday nights and yelling out the bingo balls for the old people. It's community service, whatever you could do, man. But you do that on a weekly basis and track it and, and bring, what I'm talking about. Right?
Yep. So I did over 200 hours of the community service. I did I did the mental health program. I did a bunch of other things.
Therapy, right? Of course, you got them to pay for the therapist, right?
Yep. I did a bunch of other things before the court date, and I wasn't. They didn't ask me to do it. I did it on my own terms. So
you see, that's what you do. Yeah. And here's the thing: if you don't get any less time off, and you still get a bad sentence, guess what? You've grown inside, man. You're a better person already, man. And that's something money can't buy, man. To do that psychic change within, man. I mean, you can't buy that. And all these stages of grief and everything you go through when you first get caught, and to be where you're at right now, like you're ready to go to prison, man.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to be ready. It's like it's not the Olympics, but but in a way we train for them, right?
Yeah, but I'm just like more so ready to get it behind me, so I can start my life back over, man, and get things back to normal. So that's where I'm at with it mentally.
And we know. Tell these guys how many points you got, because we did a classification evaluation, guys, and
so I think my BOP points was I think it was like 5 or something like that.
Yeah, 5. There's 2 sets of points, guys. There's one, your sentencing point, guideline points. That's how much time you're going to get. The other points is where are you going to go?
Right.
So 1, 2, 3, or 4 level.
So I'm going to a camp. I just don't know where.
You don't know where yet.
As of yet, I haven't got my my letter yet. So once again, that's another thing. You gotta wait. You gotta check the mail every day.
They used to tell you. They told me 60 days, or they tell people 90 days. They used to give you a date, and then their lawyers and stuff had to rush to get that. Now they just leave it open. It could be. Did they give you a ballpark figure at all?
They didn't say nothing. They just said, "We'll send you a letter." They took my fingerprint. And they said
right after court, right? You go downstairs like the marshal's office or something. Most courtrooms have that. Yeah, that's what I did.
They took my fingerprint, and they said, "We'll send you a letter in mail," and that was it. I said, "Well," and I'm asking my attorney, "Well, how long? Like how long would it be?" He said it could be anywhere from 30 days up to maybe 4 months.
I've seen people go in 30 days. They were told 30 days, but they had kind of requested a prison ahead of time. It's kind of worked out. But 45 days before you're even gonna really need to check the mail. But check it every day. You don't want to miss it. You never know.
Yeah, I check the mail every day, man. I'll be checking it twice a day sometime. I'll be just to make sure I don't miss that. So
it might not be too late to request a prison if you want to go to one. That's got like more inmates, has more programs and more workout equipment, and better jobs. Cause they're gonna make you work. If you go to a small camp somewhere, especially like one next to a penitentiary, you're going to be making bologna sandwiches every week when they go on lockdown. And if you go up north Minnesota, you're going to be shoveling snow in the wintertime, and hard jobs, labor jobs. So
what the judge did request I stay close to home, so I think it's like 400 miles or something like that. 400.
They'll put you within 500 miles. 500 miles.
500 miles.
You got a lot. You got co-defendants, so they're gonna keep you guys separated, right? Or can you talk to them right now?
No, I can't have no contact with them at all. So
same here. I had 9 people. One was a fiance. Couldn't even talk to her. Yep. But I saw a father and son at the camp. They slept in the same cubicle. 2 brothers slept next to each other, and they were on the same case. So I guess I don't know how they decide that.
Yeah, but man.
We got some questions up here too.
Okay.
The 18 months. You got to have. So they want to know about the safety valve. You know about that?
Yeah. So I did get the safety valve.
And then there's more.
Yep. So a lot of people, get it misconstrued. The safety valve is snitching and blah blah blah. No, it's not.
Like we were talking, remember about sitting around at the table and telling on yourself. It's
right. So I told on myself. I told everything that I did that I was responsible for. But they didn't ask me. Well, they asked me about other co-defendants, but I mean, you tell the truth. What I told the truth was like I don't know. Like so, because a lot of them on my case, I don't know. So, and with a conspiracy, they just put everybody on one sheet. Like, okay, well, you, this person, this person. So, but before that, I'm looking like, well, who the hell is this person? Like, I don't know. I don't know this guy. So,
Yeah,
but
you got to be careful if you take that accountability, the responsibility thing, because like me, 8 or 9 of their lawyers and my, public defender, they got really mad at me because they were asking me, well, we got a picture here of this guy, and we know that you and him had money. And I go, I told my lawyer, I'm only talking about me today. And they all huddled up and they said, we're gonna leave the room. And then they came back and they said, maybe we shouldn't be doing this today. It sounds like you're not gonna cooperate with us. I said, I'm gonna cooperate with you just fine on anything that has to do with me and the crimes that I committed.
exactly.
Period. Don't
Right.
they try to twist you, you know?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
we know
the
that
thing
you
with
were David after you got that money. You and David took off in the truck, and I was supposed to go, who's David? Oh, yeah, well, David, he's a friend of mine. They're looking for you to slip,
so that's one thing they would try to do. They would try to twist things around.
Yeah.
Because they listen, when the feds got you, they got you, and they already know who you are affiliated with, who you know, and they know. So, um,
Yeah, they know the answer to everything. They're just trying to get you to so they can add it to your case. And if they can trick you to get something new out of you, like David, I haven't seen him in 2 years, man. He moved to Texas.
yeah.
Then they go, oh, that's where he is. Thank you. And now you've helped him.
So when I first got arrested, they like, well, do you know this person? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I know him. Do you know this person? Yeah, I know him. What do you know about him? I'm like, I mean, what do you mean? So he's like, well,
That's right there. You got to, you can ask him.
right. So he was like, well, you know how this works. I said, I don't know. This is my first time here. So he's like, well, is there anything you want to tell us? I said, no. And that was it. And they took me to I had to wait for a few hours to get shipped off to the holding cell. And I stayed there for 3 days, I believe. And I had a court date so I got arrested that Tuesday. I got out that Friday. And man, it was like, mind you, it was like during COVID, so I couldn't go out I couldn't leave out the cell, couldn't do nothing. So I was like, oh my goodness. So, but yeah, man, it was crazy.
This no BOP, he's got a question here. He didn't get his letter yet either. He says, but you can ask your pretrial officer where you're going. They will know way before the letter, and the marshals might know too. And
Okay.
the judges, all judges have their own clerks that work in their judges' chambers, and they have their interns. And
Okay.
believe it or not, the interns, if you could get one of them on the phone, they know a lot more than the judge might even know, because that's their research. They do all the research. The judges, he's got his thing on sentencing and all that. But even the interns are big helps if you can get to know one of them. And judges will have half a dozen of those on their staff.
Yeah,
They can help you out.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with my pretrial officer now, man. She's real good, man. She don't bother me much. I don't bother her. She told me because I had one before and they switched it, so I have a new officer, and I got the letter in mail saying, yeah, your officer been changed, blah blah blah. So I called her, and me and her spoke on the phone. I just wanted to introduce myself to her. And she said, well, I heard good things about you. You're not a bad guy. You just made a bad mistake. And, and I owned up to it. Me and her spoke about the situation. And, yeah, I just go in there once a month, man. I report. And, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it can be like that, or it can be. Mine was nice in the beginning, and I screwed up, gave her a dirty test. After that, she was on me all the time.
Yeah.
I went to they switched. I got a new pretrial officer one day, and I found out what happened was she had an old client that went to prison, got out, and she hooked up with him, and they moved it. She let him move in with her, and she was waiting for him to get out the whole time. I guess they fell in love. She quit her job, man, for this guy that got out of prison. That she was his pretrial officer.
Well, shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
I don't know if they're still together, but that was before I went in. But stranger things have happened, man.
Yeah, man. You know, things like that happen, man. I see it a lot on the movies, but I've never seen it or heard about it in real life, though. So
I know a guy. There's a guy that's living with. So we all worked in the food service, and they have different staff. They're kind of different. They're not really guards in the food service. They're, I guess it's administration staff, but they're food service. And there was we had a lot of women there. So I know a guy that's he got out of prison, and one of the women let him stay at her house while he's on probation. And I guess nobody knew. And as far as I know, they're still together.
Oh, wow.
He had nowhere to go. She was kind of letting him stay there. And I don't know how they worked it out. She didn't have to quit her job. She just couldn't talk about it. So.
Well, yeah, shout out to him, man.
Well, we also had a lady that was caught having sex with the inmates.
Oh, wow.
And with the men. And, you know, she used to flirt with us. I remember our break, we're looking at like People magazines and stuff, and there's some kind of swimsuit edition, and she goes over and she goes, "Why are you looking at those women when you could look at these?" And she lifted up her shirt and showed us and walked away. She goes, now who's looking at the magazine? And so I'm like, she was like that, man.
Wow.
This is, that was at the Supermax. I worked there in the daytime, and
oh, okay.
If anybody's watching this show, you guys know the guy who she had sex with. He even has called me up too and told me what happened. You know, because I had just got to prison. I was only there a month, and this is already going on. So,
yeah, man.
She ended up getting, I think, 2 years in prison herself. But they let her work for a while they investigated. They put her away from all the other inmates over at a training center, and then she got 2 years. And her husband worked at the prison across the street from her. I guess her husband just wasn't taking care of her needs.
Right.
But it happens with women, you know. But men right now are really, man, they're raping those women, and they're doing bad things to the women. I don't know if you've heard, especially last year, they cracked down and they shut down the Atlanta, the federal. What's the one in Atlanta? That's all closed now. The women's one.
Yeah,
yeah. They've been
like before the situation happened. I'm oblivious to all this like federal and prison. I got a few friends that did some time in the feds before, but mainly in the state, but I didn't know nothing about this. So I had to do a lot of research, man, and I watched tons of videos, and oh man.
You'll notice they don't allow cameras in the federal prisons. You can see a lot in state prisons, but it's hard to get a picture out of there. They just don't let the media. You don't even see journalists come in there. They keep everything hush hush, man. Mm-hmm. You know, you can see the outside, but to get an inside picture, man, you need inmate with a cell phone or something.
Yeah, I came across your channel, RDAP Dan. What's my guy name? Larry Lawton.
Larry Lawton. I do comments, but he's just too big. He won't.
Hey Larry, what's up, Larry, man? Yeah, Larry Lawton. I came across his channel, and
he knows all about the penitentiaries. He doesn't know a whole lot about the camp because I've seen him talk about him. He's close, but it's a different world where you're going, my friend.
Yeah.
Me and you could sit at the same table and have lunch every day, and nobody will have a problem. Me and you try that where Larry went, and ain't gonna fly.
Yeah. And it was one more guy. I think his name was Brandon. He was.
Yeah. He's an insider or something. Federal insider.
Yep. Yeah. So I came across you guys.
Frozen.
You still with me? Sean, you still with me?
Yeah. I'm grabbing my Ethernet cord. I'm gonna try that. I don't know what happened there. It just everything spun out. Put this on Ethernet.
Yeah, but I came across you guys. Also,
there was Count Time. If you remember him, he sent me a few messages. He wants to. He's been out of it for about a year now. It was called Count Time. He's a Filipino guy. He did federal prison right. He was at the Medium across the street from me.
Okay.
He had a show going for a while. He probably maybe caught the reruns, but there's a few federal guys out there.
Yeah.
There's a Blood on the Razor guy. What's his
It's
name?
another guy too. Channel I came across. He's the white collar crime.
Matt Cox.
Matt Cox.
Yeah, we've been on each other's shows and stuff. Yeah, Matt's a good guy. He'll come on my show. I'll go on his. He's a good dude.
Yeah,
He's totally made a turnaround.
yeah,
For him, he's used to just making thousands of dollars. Now he's struggling, and he knows what a dollar means now.
oh yeah. I mean, I was pretty much the same way, man. Like just spending money, just had no care in the world, just just blowing money fast, man, as they can say. But it definitely caught up with me. So
I
that's
was
what.
living at a homeless shelter when I started doing all these taxes. I didn't really care what happened to me at the time.
Mhm.
That's where I ended up. So
Yeah,
yeah. But I did care after I made money and all this stuff and got on my feet again. But
right.
I forgot at the time. Let them catch me. What are they going to do? Feed me and give me 3 hots in the cot? Man, I'm homeless. Go ahead. But
Right.
That changed real fast, man. The money came too fast, man. It was too easy, man. I knew there was something wrong. I'd get all these refunds for people who never had a job.
So how long you said you ended up doing? Was it
52 months. 52 months. Yeah.
52 months? Okay.
Yes, I did. I falsified what they did for a living. I mean, I had prostitutes, drug dealers, and coppers, thieves, and homeless and tweakers. All those kind of mixed people because I was one of them, and that's what that's who I did the taxes for. And when they get $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in 10 days, because you can go back 3 years, and I said, tell all your friends, I'll give you $100. Anybody that gets an approval, you get $100. And I made sure they got that $100. But the phones, I couldn't keep up with the phones. I had 3 or 4 people just to answer phones. I had to teach people. We got the whole neighborhood of Oakland and San Francisco. All the bad neighborhoods were calling me, man.
So your phone was ringing off the hook.
Oh, off the hook. So that's why I had 9 co-defendants that they know of. There was more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they didn't catch all them.
Right. Yeah.
I think 5 of us did time. So the other ones, I know they cooperated. It is what it is.
Yeah, you know what, man? A lot of times, man, that comes with it. That comes.
And when you go to this camp, man, you call them snitches or whistleblowers. They call that. I don't. That's kind of the same thing. But my girlfriend at the time, fiance, she wore a wire and tried to get some information on me. They were going to take her kids and stuff. She told me about it a week later. She goes, I got to tell you something. When I was talking to you last week, they made me wear a wire, and I was trying to get a better deal. I told her, if you never met me, you wouldn't be going to prison. Okay, you might have been living not too. You were living kind of a criminal life, but this brought you in a whole nother league when you met me, and I taught her the business. I said, you go ahead and get the best deal you can. I told them everything anyways. So I hope you get a good deal. And I just took accountability. That's the first time I actually did that for someone, looked at it that way. Because
Mm-hmm.
I used to be the asshole boyfriend. Oh yeah, you fucking bitch. I'd go off, right? No, I felt bad.
How long did she end up doing?
29 months.
29 months.
I don't know what her original charges were or anything, but everybody with me, I taught them all how to open up their tax business and brought them down to get permits and to pass a test to be a paid taxpayer. I thought I was the shit and it was all legal. It was too easy, man. And I've never even been to college, man. A caveman could have done what I did. Really, it was just copy and pasting was what we did. There was no brains behind it.
Yeah, we all thought we was the shit, man. To be arrogant, at the same time, and we thinking we're not going to get called, and this and the third. They're going to catch you. They're going to catch you. And when they do, they have all the documents. They have a list. They have a book.
15,000 pages of discovery. I'm like, what?
They have a book.
It came on a disc, and I didn't even get to look at it more than an hour at the office of the public defender. 15,000 pages. It took me 5 years just to read all that. But
Yeah.
I gave up after a while. You know what? Yeah, they got it.
Yeah, it happens, man. But
I'll tell you this: they were watching me for at least 6 months, and I was getting high at the time, and you get a little thing. I think somebody's over there watching me. All that stuff was true. There was a guy in the car. because he was the guy that came in and when I got the house raided, they had a fake owl in the tree with a camera in it. They told me what I just did on the computer 10 minutes ago when they came in the house. So they do watch you. They can see you through your cell phone, all that stuff. When it comes to the feds, and you're worried and you're doing a crime, they probably are watching you through your phone and your laptop. I hate to tell you guys this, but that's how they work.
Yeah,
Not on the state level. I don't think they have the money for all that surveillance. But
yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, it's once they got you, brother, they got you. Like,
yeah, they do.
You can't lie about it. You can't say it's you because they have audio, they have video. They do their surveillance and they know.
Plus, you're already indicted. You don't get to go to that party, right? So you're already guilty. Now you got to prove your innocence. An indictment, I think it's 24 or 18 juries, and they're not a jury of your peers. They're like a regular paid jury that they call up every few weeks or whatever. It's the same one. You'll never get to meet them. You'll never get to argue your case. You can't have your lawyer go there. No, this is all behind your back. And then they just decide because somebody has, a suspicion that you did something. An indictment is a hell of a lot of. I looked up that word. I don't know how many times. It's a hate crime word, if you ask me. You know what I mean? They do this all behind your back, and then they tell you, "Hey, we found you guilty. Well, we'll give you some time to prove your innocence, and if you're not violent, we'll let you out on pretrial. And if you screw that up, we'll lock you up. And then when we're all done with that, we'll have sentencing, and then we'll really lock you up." I mean, really? This is our government, man?
Yeah, so you were pretty much in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
We're in a lose-lose situation. And one thing my lawyer told me, he said, don't lie. Because they know.
That's like 5 years in prison for lying.
Yep. They know. He said, don't lie, be truthful. That's all right.
And they'll try to catch you on that, every little thing. And so when you do your pre-sentence report, that's very important because they can catch you on a lie later. Well, you wrote here in your pre-sentence report that you only were married once. Who's this other lady here? And she owns 3 houses and all this. What's going on? You know what I mean? You got to be very careful on that pre-sentence report.
They want to know everything. They want to know what time you shit, what time you take a piss.
Yeah, I know. They asked you what your dog's name were. Did you have any pets? And what were all their names throughout all your growing up? And how many times were your parents married? And how many girlfriends did you have? And did you ever hit them? How old were you when you first tried drugs? If you didn't try drugs, did you ever steal any money from your family? All kinds of questions, right? Yeah. Remember that?
Yep. So, but yeah, man. But like I said before, man, you've been a tremendous help, man. I was watching your videos, man, and I decided to reach out to you. I said, man, listen, this guy is very knowledgeable about the federal system. I said, I have to reach out to him. And I want to thank you, man, for putting the content you putting out. Like, it's helping guys like me, and I'm sure a lot others. So
I know I get the calls every day, man, and that's why I keep doing it. Somebody calls and says, "Hey, man, I've been watching you, and man, thank you." Every time I pick it up, I think it's a scam, a spam caller or something. Somebody from how much do I owe you? No, I get those. Wow.
Yeah, man, and but I was working with RDAP Dan. I watched a ton of his videos, and I decided to reach out to him, and like he just gave it to me straightforward. I mean, he's been a tremendous help. I mean, he hasn't been, communicate with me a lot, but I'm sure he got other clients to tend to. But he's been a help though, man. But the letters, the character letters, I
do that too. Dan tells me I kind of do too much because I tell you, give me the names and the phone numbers of the people you want to write the letter, and then I call up your aunt or your pastor and I tell them, hey, Joe just hired me to help you write a character reference letter. And then I work with them on that. And Dan says, that's too much work, but he says, I did the same thing in the beginning. That's how I feel, though. I want to take the stress off you, man. Just give me their name and number. I'll call them. Hey, I'll show you the finished product. You don't like it, we'll edit it. But you've got enough to worry about, man, and have to. Yeah. People procrastinate on those letters, too. They'll wait till the last day to get it done,
Oh, no, I got mine done right away.
No, but your family members, they mean well, but, they mean well.
Yep. And, but yeah, but like, my speaking of like a lot of my plate, like, my wife, she was like, I mean, she's was worried, like, well, how much time are you gonna get? And like she just worried, and then
Now she
finally,
can relax where you're going too. Makes a big difference. You're not
right,
going to Shawshank Redemption or anything like that.
right. So, but yeah, once I got them 18 months, man, it's like I don't know if she cried or like if those were tears of joy or those was like tears of like, oh my God, he's leaving, he's not coming. Like I don't know what the tears were, but she cried her eyes out, man, and it was like, oh man, like honey, stop crying, like it's gonna be okay. But once
It's
that,
going to be a life changer for her when you go. It's like you died.
yeah,
It's like you
but
died, but they could go visit you still.
but once that process was over, like she came to her senses, and we talked about it. Like, oh, well, it's only 18 months. It's not as bad as it seemed, and believe you me, Sean, it could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, I mean I tell you, most wives, if you got a 5-year sentence or more, they won't wait for you, man. Most of the time, I'm 90% of them leave.
Hmm.
They leave you,
Yeah,
especially if you make it hard on them, yelling, "Man, I need money on my books, and how come you ain't come and visit me?" and all that. No, really, you're gonna have that attitude? Why I'm
yeah.
holding down the house? Bye, buddy. So, but
Hmm.
it takes a lot to keep a wife waiting for you, or a girlfriend, or vice versa. So
Right,
you're
right.
very lucky. 18 months they can wait. That's doable
Yeah,
for them.
and
She's the one
like we,
doing the time, not you. I don't know if you realize it. She's doing the time, not you.
right,
You're going to go where you can relax. Like I said, work on your body, your mind, your soul, all that. All your bills, responsibilities, they're gone, man. You just got to worry about, I need a program where I work out and all this. So she's doing the time, not you, man.
right. And like we talked about before, like she's worried about, well, how much time are you gonna get? And I'm telling her, well, you get, you do 85% of this, and so that's 15 months. Then you do the programs and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, first step back credits and all that, 15 days for every 30.
yep,
Uh, it just, now I hope you go to at least a decent size one. Little camps with 80 people, you might have a class on Tuesday nights, and that's it, man.
just one class.
They might. They'll have the GED. A lot of them are taught by inmates, but most little camps like that, everybody's got a job, and they might not even have anybody to open up the little classrooms at night. They have inmates teach those, but there's anger management and parenting and classes like that. There's the 7 habits on the inside, and these are run by staff members. But we had the resources. Little camps aren't going to have that kind of stuff.
Right. So, in all actuality, how much time you think I'll be home in, and like you
I'm going
think?
to say 11 to 12 months. If you have the residence, the non-RDAP, it's the non-residential alcohol residential program. I think I have it on the wall here. I believe it's 100 hours. It's residential. It's on my wall here. There's a drug abuse education course, and I know that one's good. That's 12 hours. So that's if it's so. 1 hour counts as a full day's worth of credit. So don't try to take 3 classes all on Tuesday. You spread them out. You only need an hour a day. So that's important to know. I believe the other one's 100 hours. So you break that up. That's 100 hours. If you take it's an hour a day. So that's if it's 90 hours, you're going to get halftime. So that 45 days are home early. You're not
Okay.
going to be there long enough to build up. In order to get 6 months off, you would need every day for a year. You would have to take some kind of program. They're not going to have them on the weekends. They're not always going to be every day. You'd be lucky to get 3 in a week. So it would take you a year of every day to get 6 months. So realistically, you're probably going to get 3 months off for the year that you're there, minus the 3 months you're going to get for your good time. That's why I say 6 months. I don't see the math just doesn't work out any. I don't see how you can go home any sooner.
Right.
I
So
just maybe an extra month,
yeah. So I mean, yeah. So 11, 12 between 11 to 13 months. I'm fine with that, man. I'm good. So
It's going to go by fast. And look at it this way: you're only going to do one Christmas, one birthday. You're not going to repeat Christmas twice. Most guys that are there.
Oh man, that sucks.
So
Man.
you're only missing one Christmas, and you're going to go serve your country for 12 cents an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, Sean, man, you've been a help, man, and man, I can't thank you enough, brother, for the education, the knowledge you've been giving us, man. It's been a huge help, bro. Huge help.
I want to tell you this, man. I don't know when you're going to go in. I mean, if 60 days, 90 days. My advice, though, anybody in your life, man, I don't care if it's your mailman that you say hi to. Now tell them I love you. Try that, man, because you might not get a second chance. You're going to sit in that prison going, just tell everybody you love, especially your family. Hug them and love them every day. Just tell them, man. I mean, even if you don't mean it that day, I know you do inside, but if you don't feel like doing it, do it anyways, man, because I'm going to tell you, if you do that now for 60 days or whatever, you're going to be so glad you did, because you're going to wish that you could have hugged them all day long, really. And if they get you mad and they're angry and they're yelling, just hug them anyways, man, okay? And you're going to come out a better person, too. You're going to grow emotionally. And, boy, your wife's really going to be waiting for you now.
Yeah.
Full of love, too? Wow.
Yeah, man. I think we had a few questions in here or some comments.
Oh yeah. Let's get to some. One guy was asking if you're near Chicago. You're New York, did you say?
Yeah, I'm in New York. I'm not in Chicago. So.
I mean, hey, you over at the corner there, then you at the bar. How come you don't have one in the New York accents there?
Nah, I'm in upstate New York. So
upstate, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yep.
We always that upstate thing. I mean, we have had upstate California, but they don't call it that. They say up north, but
yeah.
So now I didn't get my letter yet. He didn't get his letter yet either. We might have got to all these. Hey, you guys got some more questions here real quick? 14 months.
They said, when did you get sentenced? I got sentenced last Thursday. Last Thursday. June 1st was my sentencing date. Okay. So, yeah, I got sentenced, and it was one of the scariest feelings ever, man. I mean, I don't care how tough you are. You go in that courtroom. I mean, listen, it's intimidating.
Yeah, and it feels empty, right? I mean, usually there's just a few, the judge and the stenographer and the prosecutor. Really, there's not many people in there.
I mean, even though I had a whole crowd behind me. Like I had a.
Oh, you had a fan club come with you?
Yeah, I had a whole crowd behind me, man. So, I mean, I think that helped also too, because he did mention, he was like, I see you got a lot of people here that love you, and you have a lot of support behind you. So, but I mean, he was really digging in on me, man, and he was reading the charges.
Tell me how the judge laid into you too. Maybe you could talk about that a little.
Yeah, so I mean, he was saying, well, you know what you did, and blah blah blah, and there's no excuse for your actions, and like he was reading off everybody that got sentenced already, reading off their charges, and he was reading off the months that they were sentenced to. So I'm like, shit. So he reading off 88 months here and 90 months. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then he asked me if I wanted to say anything. I stood up. I thanked them for giving me the opportunity to speak. I also thank my attorney for working with me. And I mean, I just gave it to him, man. Like, I just told him how and sincere I was, and I apologized to the city of Rochester. I apologized to my family for just doing things I had no business doing, and I took full responsibility for everything.
I like that you apologized to your family on sentencing day in front of the judge, because you had maybe better things to talk about your life, and you put their life. Good man. Good man.
Yep. So I mean, I have a written out letter I wanted to say, but maybe 2 to 3 minutes before we walked in, I just tore the letter up and just trashed it. Like, you know what?
That's what I did. I did this. I had a letter in my hand, and I said, Judge, I ripped it up, not to be dramatic, and I said, look, I just want to tell you what I'm feeling, and I went on, and she appreciated that.
Yeah.
You couldn't. What I did was on the spot. It wasn't like an actor rehearsing for a movie.
No, it wasn't it wasn't premeditated.
I didn't plan to rip the letter off and do dramatic things. It happened. I was shaking. I was nervous. And judges see that when you're shaking and you're nervous, they know the truth is coming out of you, man. If you and they're all, hey, Your Honor, on Tuesday I came here. I got indicted. If it's all like rehearsed, get this guy out of my courtroom, right?
Yep.
Now it's okay to practice. I do on Zoom calls and stuff. We'll rehearse and we'll role play. You know, with the clients I get, I'll be the bad defendant, the good defendant, the judge. I have them do it. That's all great to get you, you know, because it's a big day coming up. But when that day comes, man, yeah, like you said, maybe write something down, but don't memorize it, man. You know,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know, but don't memorize it, man. Speak from the heart. That's my advice.
I mean, I didn't show it, but man, my nerves was, oh man, I was nervous as hell, and you know, and then my
Sure.
family was, and my
I'm gonna tell
family,
you, that's the one day you'll never ever forget sentencing day. As long as you live, you'll never forget the day you got sentenced, man.
right,
There's
and my
something wrong with
family,
you. You did.
and my family was like, yo, you wasn't nervous, like yo, you didn't look nervous. I said, listen, I was nervous as hell, but I was trying to keep it together. You know, I was trying to keep it together. But there's like, well, you didn't look too nervous. I said, man, listen, if you could put yourself in my shoes, you'd have felt every nerve that was in my body. So
That's also the day that changes the rest of your life. For you, I see it happening in a better way. You had all that weight on the pretrial, and you got to think about all how you live your life. And that day, the weight's taken off, and now what are you going to do? It's time to you get a second chance at life, man. You get to clear all your past away. Let the other people remember that. But you're going to go serve your time to pay your debt, man. And while you're there, and you could come out so much. I'm so glad I went to prison, man. I told you I was in a homeless shelter there. I was on the road to nowhere.
wow.
Okay. Nobody like you would have ever called me up the way I was living my life. Prison, it helped me. It saved me, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that, man.
Do it again, no problem, man.
Yep. A lot of people say prison helped them, prison changed them. Like a lot of people say that.
But you got to do the work there. You can't just lay back on your bed and say, "Oh yeah, I did a year. Well, I'm changed." No, it doesn't work that way, man.
Yeah. But
Put in the work.
But back to the judge though. You know, he was reading off charges, and you know, I had to say, I had the chance to say something, and he was like, "It sounds like you get it. It looks like you get it. You know, I appreciate the work you did before, you know, sentencing, blah blah blah." And he said, all the work you put in, I'm going to sentence you to 8 to 18 months. And for me, I said, yes. Like, I mean, it was like if somebody could have blew up a balloon and just let it up, it says, like you can exhale now.
I get it. And there's people that argue with that. Oh, don't do anything extra. They're just going to they're going to give you 10 years anyways. No, man. If you put in that work, you're going to start to change, and they'll feel it. They'll know it. You do all this, and you haven't even been sentenced yet. That shows that you're going to change. You're changing now. So they don't need to give you the whole sentence. Some judges are going to be assholes, but most of the time they're going to see that you put in the work, man. And like I said, if all else, if they give you the maximum, you're still a better man. Money can't buy that, man. Money cannot buy that, man. That's how you work on yourself and you change yourself. That you can't buy that, man. That's worth its weight in gold right there, man.
And I would recommend that to anybody. Like, put in the work. Like, don't be fooled by, oh, the judge's gonna already give. Like, he know how much he's gonna give. No, put in the work. Put in the work before.
Judges use their power in the feds, not in the states. The judges will surprise you every time. They piss off the prosecution. I don't know how many. At least half the cases, the prosecution is why I don't get why he got that amount of time. You know. Yeah. And sometimes they give you more. Sometimes they give you more time. Yeah, 15 years for like, I don't know, 2 ounces of marijuana. He was on my show a month or two ago. 15 years, 18 years. Judge threw the book at him because he did everything that we just talked about. He didn't do that. And he pissed off the judge. He learned at the very end, he started to wake up, and that's why he called me. It was kind of too late, though. He already got sentenced. But he still has a chance to turn it all around now. But it's got a long time to do, man.
Yeah. But I would recommend that to anyone. Put in the work. Put in the work because it's gonna help you in the end. It's gonna help. It's definitely gonna help. So.
Yeah, and there's little tricks. RDAP will tell you. You're not taking RDAP, but like you put a note on your mirror every day that says "I love myself," and then tell yourself "I love you." Now it sounds corny as hell, but you say that every day. You're feeding positive words into your spirit, man. And I tell you, man, these little stupid things work. Just an accomplished list of 10 things that you did today. I made my bed. I put my shoes in the closet instead of throwing them underneath the bed.
Mhm.
I put my coffee cup out. Just 10 good things that you did today, little things like that. And by the end of the month, man, you're gonna have, hundreds of things little things that you did that changed you to the person you always wanted to be, right?
Yeah,
At least
I'm
like that, man.
I'm definitely not the same man I was back in 2021 when all this shit occurred. I'm definitely a changed man. Like, oh man, my mind, especially my mindset changed like dramatically. Like it changed. It changed a lot, man.
So don't, anybody out there, man, this is not the end of your life. This is the beginning of a new one, man. Look at it like that. You're the star of the movie, and now the movie's halfway over, and you're going to prison. And what's going to happen? I got to watch the rest of this movie. You get to write the script, man.
right. You are the author. You're the writer. You're the director. You're everything.
And the actor, yeah, all that.
Everything in that book.
Yeah. You're the sound set, you're the costume, you're the
Everything.
key grip and the best boy, all that stuff.
Everything, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, Sean, I appreciate you, brother. I thank you. Thank you for all the information that you're putting out. And a lot of times, man, watching your video, it actually eased my mind too, man.
Yeah.
It just eased it. Like, because I was like, my anxiety level, stress level was like through the roof.
Going to a camp is a big deal, man. It's like going back to high school, and there's no fence, out of bounds sign. It's a psychological fence. It's there, it's invisible,
Yeah.
But people are gonna come up to you the first day. White guys, Mexicans, they're gonna give you shampoo and toothpaste. They're not trying to make you their bitch. It doesn't work that way. It's care packages they give you, okay? And when you go to leave, you'll see towards the end, you're gonna start giving. When you see new guys come in, you'll give them stuff. It's a greeting that they do. Penitentiary, don't take nothing, okay? You're not going to a penitentiary. You're going to a completely different world. Hollywood does not make movies about camps because they're boring. They're not interested, and they'll piss off the public when they find out where their tax money goes. Okay, so they don't make movies about camps. You know?
Yeah, man.
I mean, they tried with Martha Stewart. They gave you a little bit idea. There was some movie like that, but you're not going to prison, man. You're going to high school, really. You really, it's going to look like a high school campus too.
Well, that kind of helps a lot too, and that ease my mind and my anxiety level a lot. So yeah, man.
Yeah. You'll get to sleep my first night there, I slept like a baby. I hadn't slept so good in years on pretrial. That might piss off your wife though. You did what? You slept good? All the shit you put us through?
Yeah.
That's it. They're doing the time, not you, man.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I gotta kind of wrap this up a little bit, man.
One last thing: have you decided if you're going to prison, you have children? What age? What age is a good age to tell them?
We talked about that.
What did you do with your one son? Did you come to a decision yet?
I haven't even came to a decision yet, man. I've thought about just telling them I'm going to work for the government, which is true. So
yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? I don't think I'm gonna tell them, because I'm not gonna be surrounded by barbed wires and fences and.
Yeah, it's not a real prison. It is, but it's Candyland. Do you think they'll hear it from the kids at school?
I don't.
Before you told them.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not. Well, you know what?
They can be pretty mean, man. You remember how they pretty mean. And if it's the first time they heard that their dad's in prison and you didn't tell them, so you got to remember that. I don't know. Yeah. 7-year-old, I think you said? 7,
yep.
Yeah, I don't think the other 7-year-olds would really know, but the parents might tell them,
Yeah. But, man, my wife's done a good job, man, of holding the fort down. And, like, she's been a blessing to me, man. So, but, I haven't got a chance to, I don't know what I'm going to tell them, so.
You can give your wife or anybody my phone number while you're in there, and sometimes people they want to know how the core links work or the email. Or before you go in, I want to give you the rundown on what life's going to be in there, what you can prepare for and bring. Your passwords for the internet and stuff like that. A list of all your addresses, phone numbers, and names of of people that you want to keep in contact with. And I lost you.
Yeah.
But you want to have a copy. You want to mail yourself one a day before because they don't always let you bring that in. Stuff like that. There's a whole checklist we'll go over. Any medications you're on. So give me a call. When you get that paper.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely reach back out to you, man, because I'm still learning this whole thing and how things work and what you could bring in, what you can't bring in, and stuff like that. So
it's like because you're going on a vacation and you don't know the what they have different voltage over there in Europe where you're going to Russia. I don't know, but sometimes you got to know what you can take out of the country, take in. It's the same kind of thing in a prison. Can't bring any of your clothing, not even your underwear. People think I can't bring my underwear. No, they're gonna make you throw that away or send it home.
Or and you have to buy everything in the feds, right?
Everything in the feds. You want, So usually they have these army greens, like it looks like a forest ranger. Some camps use a gray outfit, but that's what you wear while you're working. And then t-shirts and sweats on when you're not working, shorts and things like that. You got to buy it all on commissary though.
Okay.
And tennis sneakers, man, they're $120 for the cheapest ones on commissary. They're not cheap. A lot of guys still use ones. So,
all right. Well,
one last thing, anybody, I got a trivia question. The most important item you get on commissary when you first get there, what do you think it is, guys? What would be the first thing you want to buy on commissary? Anybody who I'll give out leave me no, they can watch it on my other videos. I'll just tell you, my choice is shower shoes. They're like 95 cents, man. They're cheap 95 shower shoes because hygiene comes first before anything in prison, and you don't want jungle rot on your feet. So
right. Oh man, shower shoes. I'm gonna definitely get those.
Yeah, and then your hygiene, and then you get the honey buns and all that stuff.
I'm worried about the soap and deodorant and, like you said, the
that stuff's not cheap there. It's not cheap, man.
Yeah,
I go to the Dollar Tree now and I go, wow, man, this is $8 in commissary. It's $1.25 here. I trip every time, man.
Yeah. Crazy. So one last question: How much can you bring in?
I wouldn't bring more than $500 in cash. You're not going to be able to spend that much in a month, anyways. Most prisons it's around $320 a month. They let you spend. Some are a little higher or lower, and there's a cap every 2 weeks. Ours was $180 every 2 weeks. So if I spend $180 on the first week's commissary, I can't get it till the 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later,
they're not going to let you spend $500 in a month. I mean, their emails cost 10 cents a minute to read it or to write it. There's MP3 music you can download for $1 or $2 a song. There's extra items of commissary that don't count. I think stamps. No, the stamps do, but there's a few things. Your medicines, they don't count as your commissary money. There's arts and crafts have their own kind of commissary that you can order out. There's other things. It's a bank account you have, but to spend $500 a month, it's kind of hard.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I wouldn't bring a lot more than $500 in cash. I've never heard of them ever losing anybody's cash when they self-surrender. I've never heard that. I know it's had to happen, but I haven't heard it.
Okay. All right.
Well, all right, man. Keep in touch, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
For the world as you say goodbye and venture on to your new journey.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate the interview, man. Thank you. All right, Sean, I'm gonna talk to you soon, brother.
You gave a lot of good advice tonight. Thank you, Tavares. I'm gonna go listen to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack now.
All right. Yep.
All right. Man. Take care.
Yep.